Let's add our first conditions to our FreshAiR Reality. In previous tutorials, we've gone over how to make triggers, locations, media, content, actions, and items. Now let's look into conditions. Whereas actions change the state or the behavior of a FreshAiR Reality in real time to the user, conditions allow you to test the state of certain things in a FreshAiR Reality and show alternate content or alternate actions. Let's give a rundown of a brief example of where we want to use conditions to show this. Here, I simply have two different locations, water and medical kit. I have three different triggers, one that's triggered at the start of the reality, one for the medical kit location, and one for the water location. Here's what I'd like to accomplish. When the user starts this reality, it says, "You have a nasty cut on your arm. Find the medical kit first, then find water." The idea here is, unlike previous examples, where we've set actions to turn off visibility and accessibility of all my different location triggers, here I've not done that. So when the user starts the reality, they'll see both the water location trigger and the medical kit location trigger. But what I want to do is force the user to actually get the medical kit first, then go to the water. To do this, I'll want to set a condition on water. There's many different types of conditions you could set in FreshAiR, but one of the easiest to understand right away are conditions based on whether a user has actually triggered content or not at a different location. What I want to accomplish here is, if they go get the medical kit first and they go to the water location second, great, no problem at all. However, if they go to the water location trigger first, I want some message to display saying, "I'm sorry, you need to go to the medical kit first, then come back." Let's show how we can do this. Conditions are set in your triggers view. At the start of the reality, it tells the user what they need to do. At the medical kit location trigger, it says, "You found the medical kit, congratulations, you've unlocked the quicker fixer achievement," and then an action set to give an item to that user. In this case, items represent achievements for this reality. And then chained after that is another piece of content the user will see that states, "You've patched up your wound, now go find water." Great. Remember, follow the green flow line here on the left side of each trigger. The user will see this content once they go to the medical kit location trigger. Then these actions will happen instantaneously and behind the scenes to the user. Then they'll see this medical kit content, which says you've patched up your wound. Then any actions are applied, in this case, no actions. And then that's it. The user will go back to their reality view or their map view and continue their reality. Well, water is where I want there to be a condition. Although the content here says you find water and drink deeply, great job, you've unlocked the water bearer achievement, and then an action is set to give an item to the user that represents an achievement, we don't want this to occur unless the user's already been to the medical kit location trigger first. So let's add a condition to the water location trigger. You do this by clicking Add Condition. Then, from the category dropdown, although there's many different types of conditions to choose from, let's choose Trigger as a condition. Conditions follow the sentence format. Similarly to actions, has the player visited, select a trigger. Visit is a button you can toggle through for different types of conditions. But let's keep it very simple. Has the player visited, and then the trigger dropdown shows all available triggers to choose from. So, what do I want to accomplish here? I want to make sure that the player has visited the medical kit before they get the water. I'll hit the green check mark here, and notice this new red line and this new page that says false page appears. Now, if you've been following along with the concept of this green line and the flow of your FreshAiR Reality, this should make intuitive sense. Here's how it plays out. When the user arrives at this location trigger, you follow the green line, and the first thing that happens is the FreshAiR app asks, "Have these conditions been met?" There could be multiple conditions, as many as you wish, and all of them must be met. In this case, there's only one. Has the player visited the medical kit? Well, that depends on how the player plays the reality. But let's say they have at this point. Let's say they've done a good job, they've listened to what we've told them in the start of the reality content, where it says find the medical kit first, then find water. Then they went to the medical kit, they found the medical kit, they got their achievement, and they've patched up their wound, and they've gone to the water location trigger next, following the intended order. So the condition in that scenario has been met. The player has visited the medical kit. If that's the case and the condition's met, you continue following down the green line. So it'll display this content, and then it'll set any actions you wish. This is a very important distinction to note. Top to bottom order applies here. Whenever you go to a location trigger, it'll trigger by this criteria, it'll check all the conditions. If all of the conditions that are set have been met, it'll show the content. Then it'll set any action seamlessly and instantaneously to the user, and then it'll continue on showing any and all further chained content that you've specified. Now, if the condition hasn't been met, let's say in this scenario that the user didn't follow instructions and went immediately to the water location, what would happen? The FreshAiR app would recognize that. And so the condition here, has a player visited a medical kit, would be no. And so now you would follow the red line over. And there would be an opportunity to show them different content. This is a great way to do different paths in a FreshAiR Reality. You can click on this, and much like you would define content in any other place, you're going to want to put a title in, and then pick your content. I'll hover over content, click pick other. In this case, I actually don't have content pre-built. I'm going to create it on the fly. So I'll hit create new. And I want it to be a simple text message. I'll select that text message, and you'll see it goes back to the trigger screen and populates it. I'll hover over it now and hit edit. And I'll say something simple that reminds the user what they should be doing. Great. Again, if all the conditions have been met, flow will continue down this green line, and then content and actions will be shown and applied. If not, then you'll continue down the red line, and content and actions will be applied there. Notice you can continue adding more conditions here, or wherever you'd like. Best practices for creating your FreshAiR Reality are to make sure you have a great roadmap and outline of the flow and conditions you want set up for your reality so that the experience is as good as possible for the user. There are many different condition types. Feel free to check out some of the others on your own, which include not only whether the user has been to a different location trigger or not, but whether they've been to a different location trigger within a certain time span. This could be a great timing narrative that indeed we put to great use in the Wolf Runner Reality, making a time survival game out of it.